back, everyone. Today we are going to do a full install on a 2007 Impala SS. So let's begin. The radio installation kit, the steering wheel control adapter, the wire harness, the RCAs, the head unit, the two amplifiers, and the Alpine 12-inch subwoofer enclosure S-SB12. As you can see, this is the system layout that we are going to utilize. To start with, we are going to remove the factory bezel around the radio and 6-7 millimeter screws that hold the climate control and the radio in place. We are going to remove the wire harness and the factory antenna in the back of the radio. Next, we are going to remove the front door panels, the A and B pillars, so we can install the 6.5-inch Alpine S-type drivers and the S-type tweeters. Also, special adapter rings will have to be fabricated for the S-type drivers to fit back in the factory location in the doors. Let's now remove the B and A pillars so we could uninstall the factory tweeters. Let's now fit in the tweeters in the B and A pillars. No template is actually necessary since the Alpine tweeters will fit right in the pillars. We're just going to hold them in with some hot glue. Remember, I mentioned earlier that special adapters will have to be fabricated for the aftermarket speakers to fit back in the factory location in the doors. Well, we are going to make this one very simple. We are going to utilize some Pioneer adapters that come in the Pioneer 6.5-inch component speakers, and the adapters provided by the Alpine S-S65C. The adapters will first be glued together, then screwed in together. let's mount the Alpine S-S65C drivers into the specially fabricated adapters. Kit being used in this installation is probably the easiest one made by Metro. Alright, so let's get at it. Let's now pre-wire the radio harness to the aftermarket wiring harness. The speed wire going from the radio, the speed wire going from the factory harness of the radio to the amplifiers in the back and the steering wheel control adapter. Removing the back seat in this Impala was almost impossible. The bolts holding down the seats were completely corroded. It took me almost an hour to get them out, so I'm not even gonna worry about showing what I did here. Alright, let's continue. The trim panels on the driver's side and the passenger side were removed to allow us to run the pre-wired speed wire and the RCA cables going to the rear and the power wire for the amplifiers in the back. Removing the rear deck in the Impala is pretty straightforward. Just be careful not to break any clips, and especially the rear defroster plug embedded into the rear window. Nothing needs to be fabricated here. We're simply going to use the same factory 6x9 adapters and install in the Alpine R-S69.2. Now that the rear deck is put back together and the front speakers are already installed, let's go ahead and put back the door panels and the B and A pillars. The steering wheel control adapter was already pre-wired in the harness that we created already, but I wanted to show this anyway as a reference point. All that we have to do now is locate the proper wire in the vehicle and hook up the pink wire from the steering wheel control adapter to it. There is no accessory wire present at the factory harness. So in order to get the radio to turn on, we're going to have to locate either an accessory source at the fuse box outside, or utilize a relay and get the accessory power from the ignition switch, and also locate the correct wire in pin 13 of the factory harness for the steering wheel control adapter. The wire in pin 13 in the factory harness adapter will be connected to the pink wire of the steering wheel control adapter. I'm gonna go ahead and do just that and then come back and install the radio in the dash. that the radio has been installed back into the dash, all we have to do is program the steering wheel control adapter, turn the ignition on, push in the programming button, wait for the light to blink real fast, and push volume up on the steering wheel. We install ST control back into the dash. Wiring and installing the amplifiers will be our next step. Since we've already fabricated a custom amp rack just for that. Be in phase or out of phase? Let's find out. We could of course have done this procedure right after we install the speakers, but there's no guarantee after installing the amplifiers that they actually will be in phase. So let's go ahead and check that out. We are looking for 3 green flashes and 1 red. That will indicate to us that the actual driver speaker is in phase. polarity on the tweeters on the passenger side will have to be reversed since they are out of phase. The positive side of the tweeter will go to the negative side of the amplifier output, and the negative side of the tweeter will go to the positive side of the amplifier output. As you can see, the majority of the speakers are actually out of phase. So we're going to have to reverse the polarity on the front left output of the amplifier, the front right output of the amplifier, rear right output of the amplifier, and rear left output of the amplifier, and also the subwoofer. Finally, so now we can put in the front bezel around the radio, and the gain level of the amplifier is already adjusted. Now it's time to create a perfect sound stage by measuring the distance from the driver of the vehicle to each speaker in the car. We will make a note of our findings since we have to utilize that data to get the exact time delay for each individual speaker in the vehicle.
Don't let it rule you. Everything's gonna be alright.
Let's now head over to traceride.com and get the exact time delay required for this installation. And input those dimensions precisely into the head unit. Our next step will be to begin the tuning process. Not bad at all. All right, the system is now complete. The installation is now complete. Once again, thank you guys for watching and see you all next time.